one of those candidates, in fact, I think has been very smart in how they have gone about social media outreach. And I think that the candidate has been very smart in terms of how to quickly lay out a policy idea. They get the art of the soundbite. They get all of that. Austin Petersen is a Libertarian Party candidate for president of the United States. Describes himself as pro-liberty, pro-life, and pro-constitution. He joins us on the phone now. Austin, happy post two-party primary Wednesday to you. How are you?
Oh, I wish I was better. It sounds like we are in dark days, Dana, with the choices that we have to face. Obviously, Cruz dropping out does boost my campaign, but it's for all the wrong reasons. And I'm very sorry to all the supporters who are disappointed with him. But can I just say congratulations and good job? I've been fighting in this Tea Party fight for years and years, and Ted Cruz is definitely one of our biggest heroes. So I just want to say congratulations to all the Cruzers out there because he fought the good fight, and I just want to say, but it's not over. It's not over, and we got a lot to talk about.
And this actually could be the chance where. And I've heard a lot of my friends, and I have some friends who have been Libertarian Party members for quite a long time, and they are very excited because they feel that they have for the longest time been sort of on the periphery, and they in previous elections they've been so aggravated that they never get the attention that they would like, and they feel as though these parties, the Republican Party, Democrat Party, keep going further and further away from just the straight no chaser limited government ideals that we should be following, and now they're like we really have a legitimate chance, not just for perhaps, a protest candidate, but actually like a real attempt, a real chance at third party. What are you hearing? I know a lot of people have been talking to you. What have you been hearing just as we get closer and closer to November? Because you've obviously you have to be seeing some of this energy.
Yeah, well, the last 12 hours have been absolutely insane. I haven't been able to get an email, or even our website has been slammed. It's been down because of the increased interest, the surge of people from this Never Trump movement and the Never Hillary movement as well. And so we are seeing an upswing in attention, but that's because people really do love liberty. They really do love freedom. At its heart, this American nation is all about limited government and the ability to do what you please, provided you harm no one else. I mean, we're a rebel nation, and we were conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. So when somebody comes along and they're talking about the Constitution and they're talking about the Second Amendment and they're talking about the First Amendment, and they can weave this narrative, I think that the American voters have been desperate for it. And I was just ashamed that Cruz wasn't able to get it out, but the Republican Party keeps him down. Here's the truth, Dana. The Republicans and the Democrats can withstand an insurgency from their grassroots, but the Libertarian Party cannot. And I am the grassroots candidate in this election. I have been completely crowdfunded, not a dime of special interest money, but it's the people who have funded me, and I am right up there with my competitor, Governor Gary Johnson, who gets a whole lot of money from special interest groups. But I am the real grassroots candidate because I've been in the Tea Party movement for so long. And now we've got an opportunity here to push once more, to fight, once more to the breach head, to cry havoc and let slip the dogs of war for limited government. And it's not over till it's over.
A lot of folks that have emailed, a lot of people who have called into my program, who watch every time I do a hit on Fox or the show airs on The Blaze, I hear from a lot of people who say, we're aggravated because for the past several presidential elections, we felt that there has been no disparity between the candidate that Democrats have put up and the candidate that Republicans have put up. And they want to see an actual alternative. They want to see someone that has a solid monetary policy. They want to see someone that tackles national defense and military beyond saying, well, we have to win. What do you say to those? What do you say to those individuals?
Right. Well, I'm a bit of an inflation hawk. I come from the Milton Friedman school. I'm a bit of a central banking abolitionist. My monetary policy kind of comes from that Ron Paul school. I'm not a gold bug by any sense, but I do believe that we ought to loosen restrictions on things like gold and silver. When it comes to national security, I do think we need a strong national defense, and we should not back down to our enemies. But we need to start listening to our leaders in the military, people like General Mattis, who I think would make a fantastic Secretary of Defense. Let me just say that. But But we need to listen to them and our veterans who return, and they say, what happens is that the Republicans go in and they fight the wars, and then the Democrats come in and they want to install democracy, and it doesn't work. And I think that we can find new ways to fight these terrorists that are rooted in how we won our war of independence. Did you know that the U.S. Continental Navy fought almost no major battles compared to the privateers who fought almost all the major battles? And now we have all these mercenaries operating over in the Middle East. Why don't we just, talking about cry havoc, let's slip the dogs of war. There are so many former Delta and former SEAL Team 6 agents who want to go out there and do us a favor, and we should lay letters of marque and reprisal. We should put a price on the head of al-Baghdadi and these ISIS terrorists, because I'm sick and tired of us taking this sort of bull in a china shop approach to what is fourth-generation warfare. And I've studied it. We're still fighting the Cold War, and if we want a real national defense, we've got to get serious. And that does mean things like auditing the Pentagon so that we can reduce redundancy and look at, again, you've got to listen to the troops. The politics have gotten too entrenched in our national defense. We have got to have a more military-focused approach. And to me, I think that if you can weave these two concepts together, the monetary policy, a fiscal conservatism, along with a strong national defense, I see no reason why we could not build why we could not bring these Tea Party coalitions back together, Dana, and reform and resurge against these two New York liberals who are so in bed with one another that they will give us the appearance, the illusion that they are different. I am radically different than both Trump and Hillary. They have much more in common, both of them, than they do with me, who is a real fiscal conservative and a true personal freedom fighter.
I have to tell you, that answer that you gave, and particularly when you reference, let's slip the dogs of war. We have so many, operators and veterans that, and active operators that would love to be able. These guys are talented. They're skilled. This is exactly your answer. Is particularly on that aspect is literally. I have a number of friends who are operators, active, and now they have left the armed services. That is literally what they have said, like every single one of them. It's
constitutional, Dana. It's constitutional. This is how Thomas Jefferson fought the Islamic terrorists of his day. A letter of marque and reprisal would be a constitutional method for us to fight ISIS. And this way, we're obeying the law, we're obeying the Constitution, and we're actually saving money. Because if they go over there, if some of these operators go in and they recapture some of the American weapons that we have for some reason allowed to fall into our enemies' hands, then if they recapture them, well, they can sell them back here to the citizens of the United States, and the U.S. government gets a little bounty off of that. So we actually make money. We can actually make money doing it this way. But the reason we don't is because the limp-wristed liberals are in control of social policy and foreign policy, and I'm sick and tired of it, Dana. I'm going to fight for this because I think that this is the right way to go, obeying the Constitution, only going to war if you have a declaration of war, but otherwise, these letters of marque would be a great way for us to move forward.
Right. One of the other things on which I think that you differ from some of the other libertarian candidates, because I hear this so often, particularly from evangelical conservatives. Can't tell you how often I hear this. Oh, we would love to be able to consider the Libertarian Party, but they don't put pro-life issues, the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Well, you can't have all of these other natural rights, and you can't enjoy them unless you have the right to exist. And there's not enough emphasis placed on that, but you actually do place an emphasis on the culture of life.
Right, because to me, it's just from a simple scientific perspective, I think that the debate is clouded in lies because they say that it's not a human being. They say it's a parasite, which is so false. It's not true. It is a human being. And yes, I will admit, and this is just an anecdote, I have a personal interest in this. My little sister, her life was saved because of some of these laws in the state, which forbid, third trimester abortions and, partial birth abortions and things like that, which I am so thankful for that those laws existed. I get in trouble from conservatives because I don't think the federal government should play a role in it. I think that the states should set their own rules because there are many different types of abortions, and some people think that the morning after pill should be banned, and that might be because I want to end the war on drugs. I can't then turn around and say I can't allow RU-486 to be sold. But I want to have an honest discussion about it. But let me just come to you openly, plainly, honestly, and say I'm pro-life because I believe that all humans, including the unborn, have the same right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness as the rest of us.
You also get into crime and punishment and reclassifying this whole thing, the war on drugs. And my thought on this, and I think a lot of other limited government constitutionalists feel the same way, is that I have a list of priorities, right? I want to get the government out of the business of administering and controlling health care. And I want to reduce the scope, everything back down to Article 1, Section 8 in the Constitution. And then after we get these things that are literally screwing with our lives, then I want to go and say, all right, now let's look at this other stuff down on the list. Me personally, I don't like the government telling me what I can drink, eat, or anything. I don't like the government telling anyone that nature. I think that human beings are smart enough that they can figure it out. And I think that it just gives the government another excuse to extend control. And libertarian candidates in the past have always put everyone thinks it's like the pot party. And so many people think, all they do is talk about pot. That's like their main thing. But I like how you have presented it, because it's not about being pro marijuana. This is about reducing government scope and government's role in individual life.
Right. I mean, my policies come out of a position of compassion for my fellow man and from an understanding of how the laws of supply and demand work and how economics works. But also, one of the things I like to explain to my conservative friends is that they worry about violence on the border. Well, the violence on the border is a direct result of this war on drugs. And a lot of the violence in our inner cities comes from the fact that these drug dealers, they can't have police they can't use police for personal protection. So they have to go and they have to buy lots of guns and stock up on dangerous weapons in order to protect their product. So the truth is that if we were to stop looking at the war on drugs as if it was some criminal problem and we look at it as a medical problem, then people who are patients, people who are ill, and trust me, I have known too many people who have been addicted to these dangerous, chemicals. And so I'm not going to try and condone, drug use, but I am going to say that I think that if we want less violence in our inner cities, if we want less racial tension, if we want to have if we want to have more compassion in our country, then allow charity to work. The Catholic Church would love to step up and take a more active role in charity, but we stop them with our regulatory policies and with our red tape, and we choke it out when we have the government step in. So yes, I do believe we should end the war on drugs, but it's because, again, because of my compassion for my fellow man, and because I believe that it is a more limited government approach and one that would not cause social chaos. I believe it would cause more social harmony. But what do I know? I'm only quoting Milton Friedman and all the great economists that we believe in. What do I know?
No, those are some fantastic people to quote, though. Do you think that they would open up a debate as we get down, because I think that the Democrat nominee is ultimately going to be Hillary Clinton, and if you prevail with the Libertarian Party, would you step up to a debate between Clinton and Trump and yourself?
Darn tootin' I would. I have no fear. And if you've seen me in debates, you'll know that I'm a pit bull. That's really my MO. That's what I do well. I'm a debater. So if I were given the opportunity to get up there between Trump and Hillary, I would draw a very clear line of contrast between myself and them, showing how Hillary Clinton has endangered our national security with how lax she was and allowing our people to die, our ambassador to die in Benghazi, and how Donald Trump is no better because he is for a progressive income tax, just like Hillary Clinton. It reminds me very much of Theodore Roosevelt and old Woodrow Wilson. One was a Republican, one was a Democrat, but they were both progressives. And so we have been fooled, America. We have been fooled that there is a difference between the two major candidates of these parties. They are almost always progressives. I've never considered myself a conservative because I'm very much a rabid libertarian, but I am more conservative than Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton. So if you want to restore the Tea Party coalitions that we had before they got co-opted by all the establishment groups, a few years, I'm talking about 2010, the Tea Party tidal wave that put good men and women into office that represented us. If you want to restore that, then I think that it's time to get behind my campaign, because I will represent that pure vision of liberty that allows us all to get along together. Social conservatives, social liberals, reasonable Democrats, Republicans, people who believe in what the American dream is all about are rallying to my banner because they see the fakeness. Between Trump and Hillary, they don't see much of a difference. It's lies and BS that there is much of a difference between them. It's just like with Theodore Roosevelt and Woodrow Wilson. Both progressives, they both believe in big government, and I'm absolutely opposed to that.
Austin Petersen, the website, austinpetersen2016.com. We got to get you down to Dallas at some point.
I'd love to, to
sit down with us here at the HQ down here in Dallas and have a longer, more in-depth chat. I think that would be fun to do.
Cool, let's do it.
All right, Austin Petersen, always a pleasure, sir, and we look forward to talking with you again. We'll be in touch.
All right, thanks a lot.
Take care. All right, folks. See, I mean, there do exist options, and I want to say too to all the people, and I know because you all are blowing me up on Twitter, and I appreciate because everyone's like, Dana, are you aware? I so appreciate, by the way, the heads up on that. But we are still dealing with massive technical difficulties right now, and because the network was down just a little bit ago, and so when it came back, we weren't able to pull the audio from Austin's interview. So what we're going to do, in fact, is we're going to make sure that we have the audio of his interview with me just now available. We're going to put it out. We're going to get it on Twitter. We're going to get it up on Facebook as well. And we're also going to make plans to have him here in Dallas at some point because I think it's good. I mean, there are options, and I liked his answers. I like his answers. And some people have said to me, well, Dana, we're a little concerned because, he doesn't have a record. He doesn't have a record of doing these things. Well, neither does the Republican nominee, and neither did the last president. So, I mean, that's kind of out the window, right? I think that that's completely out of the window right now. And I loved the answer, by the way, when he was talking about like Delta Force and operators and going over there and taking care of some of these terrorists. I'm not even kidding you. I have a friend who was a Green Beret. I have a friend who's a Navy SEAL. I have a number of friends who are operators, and that's what I've heard from them. I mean, he literally said the same exact thing that they did. Our sponsor right now for this quarter hour of our program, it's our friends at proflowers.com. Mother's Day is this Sunday, folks, and you really want to make sure that you take time to show Mom that she is appreciated and loved. So I have a great deal for you. 100 blooms with a free glass vase. It's only $19.99 plus you have shipping and handling. And the 100 blooms, this is a huge bouquet. These flowers are guaranteed to last for 7 days, right? You choose your delivery date. It's guaranteed. You cannot beat the price and convenience. 100 blooms, free glass vase, $19.99 plus shipping and handling. Upgrade to a premium vase. Add chocolates for $9.99 more. Just go to proflowers.com. Use my code Dana Show. That's proflowers.com. Click on that mic in the top right corner and type in Dana Show. Offer expires at midnight Friday.
The Dana Show.
All right, folks, because of our massive technical difficulties, we ran a little long that hour. Third hour of radio is next, though. Dana on the Blaze, 5 p.m. Central. Don't go anywhere. Appreciate your patience with us today.
The Dana Show.